Hi, it's Garry. Welcome to today's live stream. How are we all doing? Have you had a good week? It's been an awesome week here. We had some beautiful weather. I actually went out in just my shorts and a t-shirt the other day, which was really, really nice. So let's start though with my normal weather report. I'm afraid today it's a little bit different. 16 degrees at the moment. So that works out at about 61 Fahrenheit. Whereas like 2 days ago, it was, he says, trying to type it in, 31 degrees, which was 88 Fahrenheit. So yeah, a little bit of a difference. The other thing I've done this week is I've spent some time playing with OBS. So that's the software that I use for streaming with. I'm hoping I've got all our technical issues sorted out. I've now got it set up so instead of doing a screen sharing, which is what I was doing before and we were having issues with, what I've done is I've now set up so it does application level sharing. So hopefully that will make things a bit easier. I've also updated my control board. There you go. I was just using 6 buttons. Now I've got loads of them and loads of them are empty. But let's see how it goes, see if that makes it easier. Let's head on over to the comments. So we got David. Hello from Austin. Let me just make sure that comes up first. There we go. Hello from Austin, where it's 76 Fahrenheit and a beautiful sunset. You know, you can't beat beautiful sunsets, can you? I'm guessing, is Austin very similar to here in Australia, where your sunset and your sunrise are all very quick. It sometimes seems you blink and you miss it. Tom, hello to David. Blonde Scales 1, hello from Arkansas. Blonde Scales 1, no music. Oh no, not another technical issue. I hope you've got music. I was certainly hearing it over my preview, but you never know with OBS what that means. Chris, morning everybody. Morning to you, Chris. Blonde Scales, oh, it was me. Yeah, this is similar to the issue I think I had a couple of days ago when I was testing something. I was thinking, why can't I hear anything? And it was because I'd put my Mac onto mute. Ricardo, good morning. Very early morning from London, I bet it is. Tom, hello from Atlanta to Blonde Scales 1 and Chris. Andreas, good day from damp and humid Brisbane. Oh, I bet it is. I was watching, was it yesterday where I was looking at a weather thing and the massive thunderstorms coming through. And Blonde Scales 1 and your mic is working. Yep, definitely working today. I don't know what it was yesterday. I just could not get my mic to work yesterday. It was weird. Marie, thanks for making the weekend more fun. That's all right. Thank you for joining, Marie. If you weren't here, you know, if people weren't here, I wouldn't be able to do anything. David, hey Tom. Chris, my sharks have turned up. They use the Jinhao version of the Lamy nib. Oh, that's awesome to know. Oh, that's what, you know, so you could get some, well, I'm not going to say cheap nibs because Lamy nibs aren't cheap, but you can get them reasonably priced. And I've loads of different experiences on something that looks a little bit different. Andreas, something looks different, and I don't think it's the camera. Not sure. Could have been I was sitting too far down. Haven't done much with the camera angle or anything like that. Most of what I've been doing is just been around the control panel. Keep an eye on that. I'm just looking over my preview. That seems okay. Steve, Salt Lake City in Utah. Welcome to you. And C.O. Mulder, hiya from Victoria. Welcome to you. I used to, many years ago, when we first came to Australia, I lived in Victoria. And then we moved over here about 13 years ago. Really nice. Don't know. It's nicer weather up here, or where we are living, it's warmer weather. But I do miss our friends in Melbourne. David, I just happened to find a 1968 Mont Blanc 149 today. Wow, 1960. That's older than I am. I know, that's saying something. Tom, wow, yeah. Blonde Scales 1, I have volume down unless my earbuds are in and forgot to plug them in. Chris, I think Garry had a new haircut. Yeah, I attended the what is it, quarterly ear raising ceremony the other day. So yeah, that's now my summer haircut is all done and dusted. That should hopefully see me till about the way through till maybe sometime next year. I hate having my hair cut, so I don't do it as often as I should do. I think it's because, they're poking at you. Blonde Scales 1, did you get your ears lowered? Absolutely, I did. Let's do another refresh of the comments. Andreas, lol, that's what I meant. Chris and Blonde Scales. Blonde Scales 1, a year older than me. Right. I've had some deliveries this week. First delivery, the Diamine Inkvent calendar. My long nightmare was over when this arrived. My second delivery, got to use my muscles for this one. The Colorvent calendar. So they've both arrived, which means I'm on track now for my Inky Countdown videos. They'll be getting going sometime in the near future. Now, one of the things I did notice, as I said, I needed muscles for that Colorvent one. It is a lot heavier. So I thought to myself, well, what is the difference? Before I started wearing anything, I went to the internet and I found on Jet Pens they had the stats. So hopefully we will get numbers up. There we go. Looks like we're cooking on gas. That one's showing, at least on my preview. So what I've done is I've compared the two as much as I can. So in terms of bottles, the Inkvent, we've got 24 12ml bottles and one 30ml bottle. The Colorvent, that is 24 15ml bottles. And so that means that in total, for the Inkvent, we've got 318 millilitres of bottle, but for the Colorvent, we've got 360 millilitres. So we looked at the height. I'm not going to read these all out. They're on the screen if you want to look at them. The ones I'm concerned with is the weight. So for the Inkvent, 617 grams. For the Colorvent, 1,983 grams, so essentially 2 kilograms. So the Colorvent 3 times the weight of the Inkvent. As we've seen from the millilitres of ink, that's not a lot of difference. So it's purely down to the bottles, because I believe the Colorverse bottles, they're glass, whereas the Inkvent, they're plastic. Now, I haven't opened any of them yet, obviously, so I can't say what I think of the Colorverse bottles. I like the look of them from what I've seen watching videos, but I do like the convenience of the plastic Diamine ones, so that's going to be something interesting to look at. I've also looked at the prices. So the Inkvent one, now both these were bought from companies in Australia, 2 different companies. The Inkvent one was 170 Australian dollars and the Colorvent one was 300 Australian dollars. So the Colorvent nearly double the price. Price per milliliter of ink, this is always an interesting one. So price per milliliter for the Inkvent, 53 cents. For the Colorvent, 83 cents. But I know that normally Colorvent inks are more expensive than Diamine inks. Or Colorverse, should I say, not Colorvent. All these colours flying around. I just thought that was some interesting stats. So let's head on back. I can shut that window down. We'll minimise that for the moment. David, so this is talking about the 149. It's got one of those very cool Mont Blanc tricolour nibs with rose gold. Wow, that sounds nice. I'd love to get a white gold nib, but that's just me. I like white gold. Tom, does it say W Germany? Again, we're talking about the Mont Blanc. Blonde Scales 1, maybe glass bottles. Yeah, I think that's what that extra weight is for. David, to Tom, I think so, but I'm not positive. I'll have to look when I get home. John Peter. Hi, Gary. Hi, it's Gary. Yeah, welcome to you. Hi, it's Gary. I've get so many comments from people saying they like that. When I'm recording, I normally end up having to do 2 or 3 different takes just to get that right. Because at the end of the day, how you start that video is very important. David, I'm in the car using the voice thing right now. Hello, the voice thing. That sounds like something my wife would say. Ask that voice thing something, will you? You know, the fact she could ask it the same as me makes no difference. Andreas, Gary, does filming take away some of the fun of the ink vent, colour vent experience? That's a really interesting question. I've never really thought about that. The answer really is no, it doesn't. What it's doing is it's fetching forward the excitement. So what I'll be doing tomorrow is, I'll be recording days 1, 2 and 3. So the ones for December the 1st, 2nd and 3rd. It still gives me a chance to enjoy it. I still enjoy doing them. What I find, as I say, is fetching it forward, so I'm not seeing it the same time as a lot of other people are doing. But I'm still enjoying it. And how I'm planning to do it this year, I'm going to stretch that enjoyment out a bit. So previous years, what I've done when it was only the 1 ink bottle, I've opened it, I've done a swatch, I've done some writing, and then fetch out some comparison swatch cards. This year, because there's 2, and my aim is to still try and keep the videos under 10 minutes. I'm not going to do the swatch cards on the camera. I'll do them afterwards. And then, I know I've said this before, then the Sunday following, we'll look at the swatch cards. I'm not sure if we'll do the comparisons, because there'll be quite a lot to get through. I mean, that'll be 14 swatch cards to look at. So I think we'll just look at the swatch cards and the chromatography. So no, I think I'll still enjoy it. It's just, as I say, I'm just fetching it forward a little bit. And then in a way, I also get to revisit it when the video goes out, because, you know, I get to look at my reactions again and see how people are reacting to the video. So in that respect, it also brings some fun to me. Chris, I don't love the Diamine plastic bottles, but it's probably one reason Diamine inks are so affordable. Yeah, I say my preference is the plastic ones, but that's because I've got so many of them. They'd be too heavy to lift a box around. Chris, to Andreas, I think it does, but setting up to do chromatography, etc. is a bit painful. So I prefer to do it in batches. Yeah, this is why, as I say, with my recording of these, I do them in chunks of 3 days. I find more than that, I start to lose my mind a bit. But the 3 days takes me about, once I'm set up, takes about an hour and a half to record the 3 days. Then obviously I've got to do the editing. The other reason for it is it takes a while to set things up and take them down. So normally I find to set up my recording stuff and get everything prepared and checked it could take me half an hour to an hour. Then obviously at the end of it, I've got to take it all down. Then I've got to do photographs. You know, my photographs aren't the best, but I still got to take photographs. And as I've already said, I'll be doing my swatches and stuff afterwards. So then I've still got that to do. So I reckon that Monday and Tuesday we'll be doing days 1, 2 and 3. So everything will take me roughly 2 days by the time I've done everything to get it ready to go out. Blonde Scales 1, it sounds very friendly and welcoming. Yeah, this is what a lot of people have been saying. This is about the intro that I use. I just try and, you know, keep it nice and bouncy. And I like the consistency. I'm very much a routine person. You know, I like things in certain orders. And I just like the fact that I know that's when I'm starting my video. Let me just refresh the comments. All right, we're going to go back to numbers. Let me get up the spreadsheet. I'm remembering to do this in the right order. So, semi-final number 2. That's the Platinum Preppy, the Kaweco Sport, and the Metropolitan. The winner here is the Platinum Preppy. But what's interesting is it's only won by 3 votes. I'm just going to copy that and paste that over there. So we've got that ready for The final, there was 3 votes in it, so the Kaweco Sport 30 votes, the Preppy 33. Very, very close this time. And it was the second highest out of all the heats and everything I've done. The next highest, which was the heat number 6, that was 85 votes, so there's only 1 vote there different. So very interesting, and in a way I'm glad it's the Preppy, because we've got what is essentially a dirt cheap pen there going through into final. So that'll be going up against the P136 from last week, and then our semi-final coming out later today, Lamy 2000, Visconti Homo Sapiens, and the Leonardo Magico. I'm tied with this. I think I know which one will come in at position 3. I'm not sure which one will win. I'm really torn between the 2 pens. I'm not going to say which ones they are. I mean, chances are you can guess, but that's going to be very interesting. So this will be coming out tomorrow morning my time. So that'll be tomorrow evening, about, just a little bit earlier than I start this for the US and the rest of the world. Let's close this down, go back to the camera. Just close this. There we go. Ali Rose, hi, welcome to you. And then after I've got the camera, I've got to peek over it to read the one at the bottom. I actually have all 3 of those. Awesome, so you'll be able to have a good feel for what they're like. Okay, let's head on over now to the iPhone for the over 8, the overhead camera. So this week's pens. The one I've been using all week, this is the Delta Dune in the reflex pattern. In here, I had Diamine Nightshade. It's out of ink now, so I can't write with this, unfortunately. Very nice pen. One of the nice things I liked about this, the whole nib unit screws out. So for cleaning it, I just unscrewed the nib unit, and I was able to use my blunt nose syringe to inject ink and really give it a good clean out. One of the downsides with piston fillers is cleaning them out. Glad it's empty, because obviously now that I'm going to start doing my inky countdown, all the inks that I like, I want to get into pens as soon as possible so I can do some proper real world comparisons with them. I will not show any writing from any of them until after the appropriate date, obviously. So yeah, that's where it's nice having that empty, so I can hopefully get an ink in there. And that pen was 222 Aussie dollars. Next up, I've got from Asvine, the Asvine V169. No, it isn't. It's a P20. I don't know. My brain is fried. Beautiful galaxy colouring in this. Piston filler. We've got a small piston window here. I do struggle to see the ink levels through this. I believe this pen is virtually out of ink, so I think this is going to be going out to clean. Again, I'll be glad of that, because if there's a suitable ink, it could be getting inked up with one of those. So let me just turn this on a side, make sure I can still see my writing. So we've got here an Asvine P20 with a medium nib. The price for this is 44 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine, and it's a Ruby Blues. So this is a sheening ink, Ruby Blues. Got beautiful red sheen. I normally see loads of red sheen, so we'll leave that a bit to dry and then come back and have a look. Sorry. Next up, from Sailor, we've got the Sailor 1911 Junior. Not a gold nib, this is a steel nibbed pen. Kurigane is the name of the finish, and I really like this. Got this beautiful gunmetal grey coming with it. This is a cartridge converter. There we go. And then we've got this beautiful nib, again following through with the gunmetal grey. The one thing I don't like about this, it's actually the nib. The only nib size available is medium fine, and I normally prefer broad nibs, so that's something to be aware of. I have to use this pen posted, it just feels too short otherwise. So we've got here a Sailor 1911 Junior with that medium fine nib. So because it's steel nibbed, we're looking at about 45 Aussie dollars. An affordable way to try a Sailor pen. I love the way it feels when it's writing. I say it's just a shame it's only medium fine. The ink by Diamine, and it's Yuletide. Nice tealy coloured ink there. Just move this up and we'll look for the next one. The next one, again, not a lot of ink in here. So this one, I will sacrifice it. I think I'll do another day's worth of writing, but then I'll sacrifice this one to give it a clean out because I do like the pen. And if there's any like chroma shading inks, I don't know if there is or not, but they might look quite nice in here. You know, some of the paler inks, because this is a broad nib. So this is the TWSBI Diamond 580. I'm irritating it because I want to get the shimmer into the ink. So we've got here a TWSBI. This sounds like it's whispering to me. I love this nib. 580. It's a Diamond 580. It's a broad. Price wise, it's 95 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine, and it's tinsel. As I say, it's a shimmering ink. Let's take a look at that ruby blues, and hopefully we'll see something with that tinsel. The ruby blues, not sure if it comes over on the camera. Beautiful red sheen. Just trying to capture that as best I can. Then with that tinsel, again, we've got really nice like pinky copper sheen that comes through on that one. Not really seeing a lot of it. Seeing some on the word TWSBI at the moment. Up next, one of the finalists, or one of the semi-finalists we'll be looking at today. It's by Leonardo, and it's the Memento Magico. Piston filling pen with a massive ink window. Again, we don't have a lot of ink left in this one, so I'll mostly leave this until we know if it's going into the final or not. But if it's not going to the final, this will get cleaned out again, with the possibility of putting another ink in it if I see one that I like during the next few weeks. It's a Memento Zero style pen, so it's actually called the Memento Magico. I just call it the Magico. Steel nibbed. Nice comfy pen, really comfortable to hold this one. So we've got a Leonardo Memento Magico with a broad nib. Price wise, 272 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine, and it's Bucks Fizz. I'll have to see if I can find a Bucks Fizz song which I can play a little clip on here, hopefully without getting a copyright strike from YouTube. Anyway, it's a shimmer ink, beautiful orange, and you can see already we've got gorgeous orange chameleon coming through. It's not a shimmer ink, it's a chameleon. Gary, you're getting it wrong. I don't know. I just slapped my forehead so we all know that. Up next, from Opus 88, I've got the Coloro. I did fetch in earlier in the week the Omar. It ran out on the first day, so I swapped it just straight in for this Coloro. Lovely blue and teal. So blue is ebonite, the teal is plastic. It's a Japanese eyedropper, which means you have to unscrew the section, fill the body, and we've also got a rod going through which will seal off the section from the body. That's why it's open. So we've got here an Opus 88 Coloro, which has a broad nib. Price wise, we're looking at 167 Aussie dollars. The ink is Diamine. It's Bliss. I love this ink colour. It's so nice, it's vibrant, it's bright, it's welcoming. It's just a really nice blue. Our final pen, let's move this up, from Jinhao. This is the Jinhao X159. This is dark blue. It's a cartridge converter. There we go. Nothing in there, hopefully, to see me through to the end of my recording month. Number 8 size nib. Just look at that nib. It's a beast. Let me fetch in that Caloro, just so you can see the two nibs side by side. Isn't that a big difference? Let's pop this back on. If I was to complain about this pen, it's too wide. You know, it really does feel too wide, which is a shame. So we've got a Jinhao X159. The nib on here is fine, but to me it's writing on the broader side of fine. But it's only $12, so I'm not overly worried. The ink by Diamine, and it's early dusk. Yeah, very nice there. So they're the pens that I've been using this week. Head on over to the camera. Sorry, just have to keep wiping my nose. Blonde Scales 1. Made it easy to vote. Yeah, certainly having all 3 pens would have done. Next week, I don't have... Interesting then. Hopefully you get enough from what I say and what you may have seen from other reviews. Today I've got my Marvel mug. He says trying to get in the camera. Peppermint tea still there. I do like my peppermint tea on a morning. Marcy me, hey Gary, sorry I'm late. No worries. I've got 2 of your videos lined up to watch this later on this morning. Tony, I've got the P20 in Galaxy. A very nice pen, but the piston knob is very loose. Yeah, I think at the moment this one feels quite tight, but I'm only on the second fill of it, so I'll see how that goes as I use more inks. Alia Rose Sailor medium fine nibs are very unfun. Yeah, I mean it writes really well. Problem is just a little bit too big to use as a pocket pen, but a little bit too small to use as a normal pen. Blonde Scales 1, much thinner line with that Sailor. Yeah, obviously it's medium fine, it's Japanese medium fine. Marie, to Alia Rose, I worked on a Sailor Pro Gear Slim medium fine nib for quite some time and used a wet ink and it's okay now, but not planning to buy any more Sailor medium fine nibs. Yeah, I can well understand that. I haven't done anything with it yet. I may do in the future. I said a few weeks ago, I'm thinking later on next year to get a Dremel, so I can actually start looking at how to, convert my nibs into different. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I don't know. Different shapes. I'm going to say the word's gone out of my head. It'll pop back in like that soon. Won't be till later on in the year. Reason is because of this cataract I've got in this eye. I wouldn't be able to properly focus and see what I'm doing, so I want to do that. Ricardo, absolutely the same as me. Making my mind up was a hit for Bucks Fizz and led them to the Eurovision. Every time Garry mentions Bucks Fizz, that song starts playing in my mind. That is exactly what it does for me as well. That's the song I was thinking about seeing if I could get. But everybody go and check out on YouTube for Making My Mind Up by Bucks Fizz, and you'll know what's popping into both mine and Ricardo's mind when that comes on. Alia Rose, Marie, mine needed a shim stuffed up it just to be workable, dry, needy things. Yeah, this one, I say I wouldn't put a shimmer ink. I wouldn't even put a sheening ink in it, to be honest. I just try and stick with standard inks, and as somebody else said, I can't remember who it was, I try to put in the wetter inks. Blonde Scales 1, your mic didn't like you messing with it. I know every time I touch it, it goes funny. Again, for a purchase later next year, I'm toying with getting the Rode Wireless Pro microphones. So you can get a set where you get two. They're the ones which stick on your clothes, and then they're wireless. So by getting the two, what I'm planning to have is hopefully one down on the table to record any sounds from a pen as it's writing, and then obviously the other on my clothes. And that means we won't have this gorgeous mic hanging in the way all the time. Nambi, yeah, nib grinding, brilliant, thank you. I knew there was a word for it, but I just could not think of it. Blonde Scales 1, grind the nibs. Yeah, that's it. I'd say, but chances are won't be till really late next year. Marilyn Darling, hey Gary, sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. I totally set my alarm for today and realised it was a day late. No worries, you're here now. That's all that matters. I've been waiting to see you comment for a couple of weeks. What do you think about Lower Decks, the new season? Are you watching it? I'm absolutely loving it. I think it's really good. Again, this won't spoil anything, I don't think. One of the things I'm loving with it is Boimler, the way we're seeing the facial hair appearing in it, and it's changing with each episode, which I think is a really nice little tiny touch, but makes a difference. Chris, don't use a Dremel on nibs. It's basically bulk metal removal for precision tools. Yeah, I say, and there is something that people use. That's why I'm saying Dremel. I will, obviously, when I look next year, I will be saying, I will be doing a little bit more detailed investigation. David, to Tom, it just says Germany on the clip and has no serial number. So that's about the Mont Blanc 149 that David found this week. Ali Rose, Mike Fund, awesome. Thanks very much, Ali Rose. Very, very much appreciate this. Yeah, I say, I mean, I might get one earlier in the year, but it's certainly on my plans for next year. Thank you very much. Tom, hello, Miss Marilyn, darling. Let me do the refreshing of the comments. Right, let's head on over. What's next on my agenda, he says. Membership giveaway. Let's look at the buttons and press these magic buttons. If I can find where the mouse is. I've lost my mouse. I've lost my mind, but more importantly, I've lost the mouse. Why won't you go? My mouse is stuck on my iPad. Let me turn the iPad off. Maybe that will help. There we go. So, the magic button. Membership. Just having to lean over. And 5 memberships should now be coming out. So, 5 memberships. These are 1 month memberships. YouTube let me give out 5 a week. Sorry, 10 a month. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting them up. So the first week of the month I do 5, and then the third live of the month I'm doing the other 5. So there they are. So there's 5 people named. If you click on that, I believe it then takes you to the instructions on how to activate it. Let's head back to the comments, because I saw a couple more. Marilyn, I think that Lower Decks this season has been a lot more tamer than the past. It has in a way. I liked in the last season the Tendy storyline. That was quite good. Oh, I'm full of phlegm today, sorry. Marilyn, hello Tom. And then, David, check your email when you get a chance. Sent you some pictures. Cool. I'll try and have a look at that in a little bit. Marilyn, congratulations to everyone who got their membership. Yeah, so membership of the channel. It is there. If you go to the YouTube, my YouTube page, there's a button there to join. Members get certain things different. So my normal videos, so my Monday, Wednesday and Friday videos, they get them 2 days early. So yesterday, they got the video that everyone else will see tomorrow. I've started doing once a month an Ask Me Anything video, which is members only. So in there, I answer 3 questions that people have asked. Some pen related, some, talking about, my things I like. Then also once a month we do a quick 30-minute Zoom chat where we can all get on Zoom and actually talk properly rather than me just lecturing a camera. They also get on a Saturday my time, so once a week, they get a video showing all the pens I've been using during the week. So there's a number of things, and I'm constantly trying to think of things which I can do which would fetch added value to members. So, yeah, there's that. While I'm talking about that, please hit that thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's head back, and hopefully this one will work. Yes, look at that. We're cooking on gas today. So, last week's video. Monday, as we've already talked about, we had the semi-final number 2 of the tournament, which well-deserved, won by the Platinum Preppy. On the 13th, on Wednesday, 5 black pens from my collection. Wow, I was blown away with this one. It has performed so well. When I checked last night, there were 2.2 thousand views, which may not sound like a lot, but my normal videos after that amount of time, they're normally running about 400 to 500 views. So absolutely blown away with that one. And then on Friday, I did a comparison between my 3 TWSBI pens, which was the VAC 700R, the Diamond 580 and the Eco. Again, got a lot more views on this than normal, so I think that might be a follow-on from Wednesday that's helping with the algorithm. Sorry, just having a drink. One of the things I'm planning to get some more TWSBI pens. I was initially planning to get some actually this month. Changed that plan though because I ordered I think it's a Trammell T630 from AliExpress, so I'm just waiting on that to arrive. Next week's videos. So tomorrow, Monday my time should I say, is semi-final 3 of the fountain pen tournament. On Wednesday we look at the pens that I've got inked up but they aren't in my EDC rotation or they aren't there for a video. So that's Wednesday. I think that was the lowest number of pens I had. I've been busily trying to empty out pens, as I said earlier. Why I'm doing that is obviously with the Inky countdown. So I'm going to have, 49 new inks to try. So I've been deliberately trying to empty pens so that if I see one which really jumps out at me when I'm doing my initial testing, I can get that into a pen really quickly. And then Friday, that's a first impressions of a Mahjong P139. And I do keep calling this a P136. I was very careful in the video, so hopefully I've got just P139, but I don't know what it is about it. I just keep calling it the P136. Been busy week for books. So I finished off Terry Goodkind's Warheart. I actually finished that off on Sunday. I thought it was going to take me till Tuesday, but it really grabbed me, so I just sat there and read it all. I've read The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rodents by Terry Pratchett. Very nice, all new characters in the Discworld area. Really enjoyed it. It was I think it may have been aimed at, I'm not going to say kids, but at a younger audience. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice light read, and I finished that in about 4 days. And after that, I started Night Watch by Terry Pratchett, about 20% of the way through that. So I'm expecting to finish that during the week. Once that's finished, I'll be reading The Wee Free Men, Knack Mac Feegle. I love the Knack Mac Feegle. Knack Feegle. That will be the second book they appear in. But this Night Watch, so this is a Commander Vimes book. So that's what I've been reading this week. Just check my watch and I don't know what I'm doing. We're running very quick again. Oh, pardon me. David to Miss Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Chris, for grinding, use stones, mesh or sandpaper. 80 grit for changing the profile finer. Grits down to 4,000 for polishing. Cool, thanks for that. Chris, I've had good luck with wet and dry sandpaper with water. Blonde Skills 1, maybe next time you won't have to fight with your mic. I know I had terrible technical problems yesterday. I couldn't get my mic to work, and it was a good job because I ended up saying loads of rude words at the time trying to get the damned thing to work. Chris, the mesh that a lot of people seem to use isn't easy to get in Australia. I do have some of the really fine-grained stuff that I got from a nib tuning kit from Goulet about 3 years ago. Miss Marilyn Darling, hi David. And David. Okay, based on Tom's question and research I just did while listening to Garry, looks like the 149 I got is from early to mid 1970s instead of the late 1960s. It's so easy though, isn't it? So easy. You know, I've looked at, I've got a parker like that. I was trying to see how old it was, and it was just a nightmare. Don't apologise for misidentification. It's hard to identify them. Steve, thanks, Garry, for the membership. You're welcome. Nambi, hi, Garry. Which Twisby model do you like? I like my personal favourite is the 580, I think. I really do like the 580. And actually, I picked that at the end of the video. I picked my favourite of the three. As I say, I'm holding out now. I'm looking next at a Swipe and maybe a VAC Mini. Love the 700R series. I love the looks of them, the feel of them. But I don't know what it is. The 580 always just draws me to it. Maybe because it's completely clear. David, did I miss Zoom again? Blonde Scales 1, yeah, it was yesterday. Let me refresh. Marilyn, I just saw some sad news that Anderson Pens is closing down on the 21st of December. So if you can help them out, please give them your business. Or if you know someone with a spare million, you know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I watched their video the other day where they were talking about it. It's sad, and what's even sadder is the reason why it's happening. It's not because they don't want to do it. I just think it's really awful that the state of society. And to be honest, it's still yet another follow-on from all the issues with COVID. Marilyn to send it. Blonde Scales, saw that on Thursday. Tony, you should be able to get the micro mesh pads from wood turning suppliers in Australia, as they are used for hand turned pens. Yeah, I mean, I do have all that stuff. It was just I was thinking, because I want to look at going like from maybe, I'm thinking of getting like a Jinhao medium nib and try to turn it into things like an Architect and stuff like that. Marcy Me, wow, they just moved their location. I know, that was only last year as well. Chris to Tony Bins, and there's a thumbs up. I can recognise that picture. That's everything I've got on my agenda, is it? Yeah, there was something else I thought. I'll tell you another thing I've been doing this week. I'm a bit of a hoarder. So I had a big basket, and there must have been going on for 60 or 70 notepads in it, because what I do is, I'm terrible, I don't throw stuff away. So I went through it during the week. Oh, pardon me. And all my old notepads, you know, the ones where I've been the ones where I've been taking notes on from various things and filled it. The ones that you see from my daily handwriting practice, I've been keeping them. And I thought, why am I doing this? So what I did is I went through that basket and I threw out all of them. Not all the notepads, but all the ones where I've been doing my writing practice, where I've been taking notes and no longer need it. That was about 3/4 of them. So what I was left with were my journals. And there's about 10 of them there. I've just had a quick look because I've actually put them on my shelf. and I was looking at them and I was going through, and I've been doing a daily journal. So I just do one A5 page every day, looking at it, and I've been doing that since the 1st of March of 2020. So that's just after I got back into fountain pens. So it was one of the things I started doing as a way of using my fountain pens more often. But absolutely gobsmacked. I'm going to start reading through some of them, because I think it'd be interesting to see what were my thoughts 4.5 years ago as opposed to now. I think that's going to be really interesting to look at. So that's something else I've been doing this week. It's been quite a busy week. I haven't done a lot of development work, but I've done a lot of tidying up in the office, rearranging how I'm doing stuff to try and simplify things. David, I've got a question. What's the proper way to create homemade pen flush? Can you walk us through it? I don't use it, but I know someone who does. That's Chris. And I know in some of the previous ones he's put it on. I think it was distilled water, cloudy ammonia, and was there a drop or two of dishwashing liquid? Chris is on here. I saw him earlier on, so maybe he can drop down with that. I just wouldn't want to mislead anybody. Marilyn, you've got more pads than I do, and I'm terrible for collecting things, so that's why I had that clean out. I think I shocked my wife by doing that. She's not used to me cleaning stuff out. Blonde Scales 1, I'm a pack rat. Yeah, know exactly what you mean. I'm just a thing that, I might want to look back at it, but I haven't. Tom, 1 part house ammonia, 9 parts water, drop of dishwasher soap. Chris, 1/10 of 10% ammonia, 9/10 distilled water, few drops of dishwashing liquid. There you go. There's a couple of options for you. Very, very similar though. David, how long can you let it soak? For me, if I was putting it in that, not very long. Maybe I'd leave it 10 or 15 minutes. I do sometimes soak things in plain water, and I might leave them overnight. But what I tend to use more than often than not, rather than soaking stuff, is I run it through my ultrasonic cleaner. But you have to be careful what you put through there. So I don't put any of the bodies or anything like that. I just try to put the feeds and nibs in. The nibs only need a couple of seconds in there, because you're just getting any little particles that are in between the tines and stuck on the body. I leave the feeds a bit longer, but you also have to be careful. Do not put a ebonite feed in there, because ebonite doesn't go very well. Also, make sure when you use an ultrasonic cleaner, you're using cold water, because it will very quickly warm up. David, did you see my earlier post? It just says Germany placing it in the early to mid-70s. Chris, however long it takes, it's safe for most pens. Santa, hi all, welcome to you. Marilyn, whatever you do, do not use rubbing alcohol in it. Yeah, definitely that would ruin a lot of the materials. Tom, yes, thank you. Chris, thanks, Chris. That's David to Chris. Thanks, Chris. That's a big help. And David, yeah, I knew that one about the rubbing alcohol. It's the. Do you know, this is one of the things I've still got to work out myself. How can I tell the difference between an ebonite feed and a plastic feed? Because to me, they all look the same. I know that they're different materials. We're talking about plastic and ebonite, which is, I want to say it's some kind of vulcanized rubber, or based on some kind of vulcanized rubber. But it's something I need to admit that needs difference between ebonite and plastic feeds. That's something I need to research. So I just made a note of that. I know it's exciting watching me writing down on a pad you can't see. Let's refresh. Nambi, do not put your gold-plated pens on nibs in. Yep, definitely don't put anything like that, because although it's soft, it's still aggressive. Andreas, nail polish cleaner is safe though. Jim made it late after missing the last two live streams. Welcome to you, Jim. Nambi, also do not leave the ebonite sections in pen flush. It ruins the colour. David, thanks. I didn't know that. So yeah, really good tips there on using that cleaner. So Chris, no, polish remover is acetone, which melts most acrylics. Yeah, well, you've all seen my nails. I don't have to worry about nail polish, so I don't have any of that. My wife doesn't really wear nail polish either. So that's the end of the comments for the moment. Thank you all for your time. I know we're wrapping up a bit early again today. That's going to shock my wife. Last week when I'd finished, she was looking at me as if, what's wrong, what's happened? Because we'd gone a bit shorter than normal. I say my target is for about an hour. Quite often we go over that, but again, we're just running slightly short today. Thank you all, though. I do love doing these. Remember, I've already said it, membership's available. Anything that comes in from membership, from the YouTube ad revenue that I get, which is not a lot, but it all goes together and it adds together to allow me to get new pens and new stuff for the channel. I say I'm saving up for, I like to do an expensive pen once a year, so I'm saving up for that. My current plan is I'm looking for a Pelican M1000. Won't be looking at buying it till January because I want to make sure, see if I get in the January sales, and ideally with at least 20% off, so that it makes it affordable. So yeah, saving up for that at the moment. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Very much appreciate you coming along with us for the journey. Back to the comments. Marilyn, thank you, Gary. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Jim, I've used a bleach instead of ammonia for a pen flush. Chris, tell you talk faster in warmer weather. Yeah. I need to be careful when I'm doing stuff like this. If I ever slip back into my Yorkshire dialect, because I talk really fast when I'm doing that. So that's something I do have to watch out for. Marcy Me, good night from Texas. Andreas, thanks, Garry. I'll miss next week's live because I'll be at the Melbourne Pen Show. Have a great format. No worries, Andreas. What you should do if you're there in time, tell them to join in. Get the whole pen show to come online and join us. Blonde Scales 1, we're less chatty. Yeah, there's not a lot going on at the moment, which is in a way a shame because it's nice having these chats every week. Let me refresh the comments. Chris, thanks, Garry. Alia Rose, I've got a migraine, so I'm not chatting much. Blonde Scales 1, have a great week all. Ricardo, thanks, Garry. Have a great week, everyone. Andreas, the M1000 has been my favourite writer of all time. Yeah, I've seen a number of people saying that. That's why I thought this is what I'm going to go for. I did watch Hemingway Jones's video the other day looking at the M800 and the M1000. Still made me think I prefer the look of the 1000. Blonde Scales 1, ouch, yeah, them M1000s. A lot of money. Alia Rose, have a nice week all. Tom, bye from Atlanta. Refresh. That's all the comments. So thank you all. I will leave the comments open whilst the outro plays. And I'll talk to you again soon.